Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Battle of Ontario Hockey Podcast, featuring a Senators fan and a Leafs fan. We're here to talk about your two favorite teams, the rest of the NHL, local hockey, hockey all around the world, and to bring back memories from your favorite hockey teams and players. If you love the Leafs, Sens, B-Sens, NHL, or any other hockey, including the late Belleville Bulls, you are going to want to tune into our podcast. The gloves are off, the buckets are spinning, let's get the chirps flying. Welcome to the Boo Club!
How about that, Flem? How about that, buddy? How about that?
Look
Go,
at this
Sens,
guy.
go!
All right, everybody, welcome into the episode of the Battle of Ontario podcast, brought to you by Pay It Forward Sports. Pay It Forward Sports, helping people within the Quinte region get back into their local sporting programs. Brokey and I were very proud to announce last week that we did launch our new company. And with that said, what we do is we do like to give back to the community. We want to get kids into sports. We want to get back to those less fortunate. And speaking of doing a little bit of charity work, the Leafs gave back a 4-goal lead to Brokey's Ottawa Senators on Monday night. So everyone buckle up. I mean, we're going to have to listen to Brokey rant for probably about 45 minutes here. So the floor is yours, bud.
Well, here it is, buddy. Here it is. I mean, I'm not a very good dancer, and I'm sure you're not good either. But when you come back down 5-1 against the number one team in the league, especially it's the Leafs, you can have a little dance in front of everybody. So, I mean, I'm in a jolly mood today. I feel like I'm Saint Nick on Christmas, right? So how about that, buddy? How about that? I've been waiting 2 days almost to talk to you. I've been waiting 2 days to talk to all of our fans. I mean, I really haven't, because I've been chirping everybody on Facebook, text messages, Snapchat, everything you can do. And then all I hear is, oh, well, how about the standings? I say, yeah, how about the standings? You guys were in first place and we're last in the whole NHL. And you lost, you were up 5-1 and we came back and won 6-5 in overtime. So, guys, this is what it is, okay? Toronto's going to make the playoffs. Ottawa isn't. Let me fucking live it, boys. Let me, girls, let me love it, because this is going to be the highlight. This is my highlight for the last 4 years. I'm not going to lie. And not just me, all the Sens fans. It is. I mean, and one stat I didn't even know is that Ottawa had been down since 92 when they started. They've been down 240 times by 4 goals, and they never once come back until Monday night against the Toronto Maple Losers. I love it. I love it.
The biggest piss off with that too is when we were talking last week, you said this, the Sens can't score, and you're going on and says, one of these times they're going to break out. I said, fuck, just watch. They're going to break out against the Leafs on Wednesday night or Monday night. They're going to put up like 6 or 7 goals, and sure enough, they come back, put up 6. So the red hot Ottawa Senators, they are rolling. Can they make it 3 in a row tonight?
So we have to touch on something here, Fleming, because I got more chirps than just Monday night. You and I both ripped apart Hogberg. I didn't have any faith in him. He's now on a 2-game winning streak. He only allowed 1 goal on Saturday. But remember, we said there's a chance Ottawa could win on Saturday and Toronto could lose. Well, that also happened. Yeah. It was an upset of a Saturday, though. I know with our champion jump picks, we both went 5-5, so there was no winner. So we might as well just announce that now. There's no winner, 5-5. I'm 19-8, and you're 21-6, if I'm not wrong, total. Yeah. Anyway, so that's done. But so Detroit won, Ottawa won, Toronto lost, and Boston lost. So there's 4 upsets right there, and there was a bunch of other really tight games.
Did you say Tampa too? Tampa lost,
no, Tampa won Saturday. Boston lost.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But that's 4 huge upsets. No, Tampa smoked Florida. That one I lost. I took Florida. Oh, yeah. But no. So we got a big win there. And it was I already had lots of firepower there because your Leafs lost, right? And then to Montreal, which was a big game. Gallagher get a goal at the end of the game, and I think he had an assist before that. Yeah. So Toronto just couldn't get any finish and finished the game up there up 1-0. And then we go into Monday night, and I'm not kidding you. I'm watching, and I'm a diehard Sens fan, as you can tell. But we're down 5-1. I'm not changing the channel. I'm watching. I'm like, you know what? Not only for the show, but I want to see the guys develop. If we were still getting rid of players, maybe I'd change it. But all of a sudden, you guys score to make it 5-1 with a minute left, and then with 8 seconds left, Paulie puts in the net 5-2. It's like, holy shit, okay. But I really didn't expect a comeback. But then we get one, it's 5-3. It's like, whoa, we got a game here.
Yeah, now we're cooking.
5-4. It's like, holy shit. Now I'm like, at least we made it a game.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what my thoughts were. At least we made it a game. Even if we don't tie it up, at least it's not embarrassed. We've come back. We've tied a little bit. And then Dadonov ties it up with a weird batted out of the air. And I just went fucking nuts. And then
that would happen to your voice, or?
Yeah, that's part of the reason. I mean, the entire third period is the reason. And then, of course, overtime was fucking nuts. Marner makes an unreal move on that. I think, it was on that.
It was that, no, yeah.
Yeah, and then he couldn't score. The puck comes back out. Dadonov makes a save off the leg. Ottawa gets the puck. They do a drop pass. They hit Dadonov on a breakaway, and we all know the result. And the best part was it. The best tweet I seen was, of course, Daddy is the hero on Family Day. I love that one. That was fucking gold, man. Like, couldn't pick a better time to do it. Family Day, and Dadonov does it. So I'm fucking riding high, buddy. I don't know what tonight's going to be like. I would expect maybe Ottawa gets some jump out of this, but I think Toronto's got to come out fucking guns a firing, because that's embarrassing if you're.
Oh yeah, Toronto's going to come out hard too, for sure. You know, the Leafs are kind of known. Leafs fan base is known for kind of overreactions, kind of thing, right? And I just think
for sure.
Now that we're 2 days past, I think we can all settle back down and realize, even if that was the worst game the Leafs play this year, or the worst period at least, they still get a point out of it. It's not that big of a deal, you know. Take the point, move on. It's going to be something Sheldon Keefe can go back and say, hey guys, you know, when they're in a big game and they're up 2 goals, going third, hey, just don't let your foot off the gas. Remember what happened to Ottawa? You know, the worst team in the league can come back on you and put up 3. So I think that's gonna make the Leafs bear down.
5 straight goals.
5 straight goals. Yeah, I think that'll make the Leafs bear down though, and it's not the end of the world. It's, you know, we're gonna bounce back, and going in tonight. Ottawa's getting Murray back tonight, though, aren't they, too? So
that has not officially been announced that I've seen.
Yeah.
Ottawa didn't do a morning skate today. They're not doing a morning skate today. So typically at morning skates, we find out more information, and we're good. That might be announced by now, but I think they were hoping to have him back. Brandstrom could also be in the lineup as well. So those are 2 big. Well,
I did see Brandstrom is coming back in tonight for sure.
He is. Okay, so that's good, because Riley made some bad plays on Ottawa. There was at least 2 goals that were pretty much his fault. Yeah. And to touch on that, I mean, we ripped Hogberg. So we got to talk about Hogberg for a second.
All right, yeah.
Because we ripped him so hard. Mm-hmm. Good for him to come back on Saturday. I did not predict that, and there's no fucking way you did. You were taking Peg by 3 goals. So, and I was debating doing something crazy like that, but I'm like, no way I'm going to bet against my home team or my own team, because that's when it comes back to haunt you. So thank God I didn't. So good for him. The 5 goals he gave up, it wasn't like, oh my God, Hogberg is shit in the bed. There wasn't any of those sliding to the corner goals, but again, there wasn't big saves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a typical backup, you know, like
he is, yeah.
You're not good enough. That game I'm talking about. I don't know if he is. I still think he's not very good. But, But that game was like a kind of a typical backup. You get good players shooting on you. Like the Matthews, the last one, he was a 5th goal, like 0 chance.
No way.
He was in the net, so he made a bad play on it anyways. But I wasn't blaming Matt. If we would have lost 5-1, I wouldn't have blamed Hogberg. I would have said you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
But you weren't the problem like he was previous games.
Yeah. No, yeah, good on Hogberg for bouncing back. Back-to-back wins. It's got to feel good after just getting ripped in the media, too. I mean, the last week's probably been really tough on him. So good on him, and hopefully he can settle back down. I do see it looks like Murray is going tonight, Brokey. So Hogberg's probably back behind that kind of worries me that Murray's going tonight. You know, maybe the Sens can pull off another upset tonight. The Leafs haven't been scoring very much lately, right? Their offense kind of been sputtering a little bit. I know they put up 5, but 5 against Ottawa isn't the same kind of thing. Gets a backup goal against Hogberg. So Murray's a little better, so maybe he can hold him in. And I'm curious to see what the Leafs do with Freddie tonight. Freddie's played a lot of games in a row since Cam went down, so maybe the Leafs do go to the backup tonight. I'm not sure. It doesn't look like it yet, but we'll monitor that as the show goes on.
So the Leafs the Toronto and Ottawa play tonight and tomorrow. So I can't see them going back again. Andy, would you think that there's no way? That's when you're going to wear a guy out.
Yeah, I think.
And then come down the stretch, it's going to hurt you. I mean,
I'm thinking one of these 2 games, backup's getting in for sure.
He's gotta. I mean, you almost have to. If you don't, I think that's a bad decision on the coaching part, especially when it's against the last place team.
Especially if you're giving up 6 too, right? Like.
Yeah. So I mean, that has to change.
Yeah.
One thing too, I'm going to just touch on this quickly, but Zub with a beautiful goal, breakaway goal. So this guy here, I was really pissed about this. Dorian signed him. Okay, he was a healthy scratch in the first 8 to 10 games of the year. Ethereum Zub is his name. He's played the KHL the last few years. They wouldn't play him, we were losing every game, and I didn't get it. They finally put him in the lineup the last 5 or 6 games, and he's done great. I really like the guy. He's solid. He's not a Shabbat. He's not going to dominate, but he could be a really, really good depth player down the stretch. He might only be a 5 or 6, but he could be solid. I like him. First pass, good positioning, and obviously he's got a little bit of offensive touch. That was a nice breakaway goal.
That was a really nice goal.
The Toronto media, and I watched it's all over the news around where we live, and they're like, I never had to Google this guy and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, now you fucking know who he is, guys, because he just scored on you and part of the comeback. So I like that as a depth guy. And finally, DJ screwed up at the start of the year. He didn't have Zub in. He wasn't playing White. Like there's so many little things. I'm thinking he could go even farther. Where let's get Formington in. I'll touch on a couple other guys once we get to the Belleville Sens. One other thing I want to talk about with that game was I thought, and honestly, I think there should have been some penalties called on Toronto. I know I'm going to be, you're a Sens fan. But I didn't complain. I was talking to Mark Goody, good friend of mine, Leafs fan. We always chirp each other during the games. I said, hey, you're not going to call it? There was a trip or two, and even he said that was a trip, like it should have been called. They said, you're not going to call it, it's fine. But don't go and call one in Ottawa. Let them play. And they let them play.
Yeah,
they did
for sure.
There was not many penalties. Yeah. I thought that was a very good ref game. I didn't think there might have been a couple blatants, but if you're not going to call them, then don't call them.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, and the reason I had to touch on it because I know I ripped the refs last week. So I'm saying, hey, I liked that ref game. Obviously, I liked it because the Sens won, but no, it wasn't like the Sens were getting all the power plays, right? It was nobody was. They let them play. It was a good, hard-fought game, and that's what you want to see in the NHL.
And a good officiated game can result in a good game like that, right? I mean,
100%.
It makes everyone work a little harder. It keeps everyone involved, right? The power plays aren't the only guys on. So it was a good officiated game.
Yep. So
is that the end of your rant on that, Brokey, or do you want?
Well, I just should I play the song one more time? Maybe you think, or what?
Yeah, go ahead if you want.
Should we just
give you your moment in the sun here?
We just enjoy it, guys. And what a beautiful song. I can't wait to play it again on Saturday for you guys when we win the next 2 games. Oh, shit. Okay. That's enough, guys. That's enough. I know. There's a lot more Leaf fans probably listening than Sens fans, but that's okay. We'll change you one by one, okay? Take you out of the closet one by one. It's fine. 17 years without a playoff series win is a long, long time. So I feel really bad for you. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay, what do you want to go on to next, buddy?
Well, I think we had a couple trades the other day. So involving the Leafs and the Senders. So do you want to? The Senders went first. So why don't you go on that? Because the Leafs, Galchenyuk Ottawa trades Galchenyuk, right?
So Paquette and Galchenyuk go to Carolina for Ryan Desingle. So Desingle, when he was with Ottawa a couple of years ago, he did really well. I think he put up 25 goals, and I liked him. They didn't sign him; it was part of the rebuilding thing. So
they got a pick for him too. I think they got a first.
They traded him to get that pick, and it was part of the rebuilding thing.
Yeah.
So now I love that trade, and I know people rip me. It's stupid. You gave away 2 players for Desingle, who's almost the same. I'm like, I don't think he's the same. I think he has the potential to be way better. Paquette was fucking terrible. He scored 1 goal, and it was the last game he played for Ottawa, I think. I hated him. I know he won a cup last year. I thought he was shit. Like, even the DJ loved him for his penalty kill, but our penalty kill sucked. Galchenyuk, he was coming. They're putting him a little bit on the second power play. He might have had a goal. I don't know if he had 2, but he had 1 nice goal at least. I just don't know if that's a fit for us. I think with some younger guys coming in, they could take that spot. So to lose those 2 guys, I got no problem. And now you're losing 2 for 1. We already had too many forwards to begin with, so I love it. And I think Desingle has more potential than both those guys. So that's my opinion. And then they go and flip. They didn't. So what happened was they almost knew they were trading Galchenyuk.
Yeah, because they told him not to come. They told him not to cross the border, right?
Yeah, because in case he goes back to Canada. So now he's in Toronto, and it'll be interesting to see how Toronto uses him. Maybe they need him as a depth guy. I'm not sure, but we'll see. I mean, this guy's played like he's been part of like 6 or 7 teams in 3 years or something crazy like that. I don't know if it's 3 years, but it's 3 or 4 years. I don't know. Yeah,
no, it's definitely a good deal for Ottawa. I mean, you get rid of Paquette. He's in there at I think he's like $1.7 million per year, and then Galchenyuk's coming in above $1 million too. So I mean, you're shedding a little bit of money at the same time, and you're bringing in a better player. I think that's a win-win from Ottawa. And then so Carolina have wanted no part of Galchenyuk, right? So they flip him to the Leafs for a couple prospects that probably aren't going to do much. I mean, One's a 25-year-old, not NHL ready. One's a 30-year-old defenseman still playing the NHL. So it's more of just a numbers move that kind of feels like, where the Leafs are getting rid of 2 contracts, get under that limit, and they bring in one guy. And who knows, Galchenyuk has had some scoring prowess in the past. He was a superstar coming into junior, right? So I know he's going on the taxi shot to start. And I think, maybe
Say that again.
What's that?
Say that again. I'm just bugging you.
Yeah.
When you come back and win 6-5, you can chirp the other guy, right, guys? Oh, jeez.
Galchenyuk might come in for someone like VC or something like that in the future, but right now he's on the taxi squad. So, it's just kind of a numbers move for the Leafs. Maybe Galchenyuk gets into a few games, and if you put him up there with Tavares or someone like that, maybe he finds it again. He's a guy who's put up 25 goals in the league, so just a gamble on a guy.
And you know what? He could also be a good player to fit in if you're gonna give a guy like Spezza or Thornton or even Simmons a game or two rest down the stretch, right? So let's throw him in the lineup. Let's see what he can do. And
the guy's obviously got some talent. He can play with skilled players, which the Leafs have. So we'll see how that plays out.
You never know. I don't think. I mean, if you're Toronto, like, it's not a make or break. Maybe it does something, maybe it doesn't. But at the end of the day, he didn't give up much. And also I think that helps them with another roster spot, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, for sure, yeah. There's kind of rumors that the Leafs are looking at, going after forwards, and people think that's kind of a precursor of another deal to come. I don't think so right now, but it does get them under the 52-player limit. So we'll just see how that plays out.
Allow something. I mean, if they do it, they do it. They don't. They don't. So I
well,
think
they could have took Galchenyuk off waivers. Carolina waived him first, right? But the Leafs didn't want to take didn't have room for the contract, so they send out 2 for 1.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Okay.
Yeah. So they could have had it for free, and they just said, we'd rather give you the 2 contracts and take them.
Oh, okay. So I think Ottawa and Toronto both winning that. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see what happens with Desingle. The shitty thing is I don't think he can play till like March 1st or something because of the whole quarantine thing. So we'll have to wait and see. That's going to be a couple weeks down the road. He is in Ottawa and he is quarantining as we speak. But like you say, it's a couple weeks away. So we'll have to follow up on that. Sorry, guys, a little bit of a raspy voice today. My Ottawa Senators came back down 5-1 to beat the on Monday night.
No big deal, eh?
This is water in here. It is only like, for us, it's like noon. So, so this one other thing around the league, you want to go to that? So just a really another crazy stat that happened on Monday night. And I posted this, we posted this on our Facebook as a question, and I'll do it again. But I'm going to ask you a question, Fleming, and give me the answer. Would you rather lose 6-5 in overtime against your one of your arch rivals, Belleville, Ontario, when you're up 5-1, or be down 3-1 going into a period and not get a shot in the third period?
I'd rather lose 6-5. How can you not get a shot in a period?
Oh man, I would rather just not get a shot because I mean, you were losing anyways. That's why I look at it, honestly. But yeah, so anyways, guys, Buffalo Sabres were down 3-1 to the New York Islanders, I believe, on Monday night.
Yeah.
And Buffalo has some guys like they got Jack Eichel,
Taylor Hall.
Yeah. Skinner, I don't think Skinner's having a good year, but he has in the past. They got some guys that can score, and they were down 3-1 going into the third. The final score was 3-1. Buffalo didn't have one registered shot in the third period. That to me is just fucking terrible. How do you not get a shot? Fire it in from the goddamn red line. Like,
especially when you're down goals too. Like, what do you do? It's not like you're protecting the lead or anything.
But it's not like you're down 5-0. It's only 2 goals.
I think that was their first game in a couple of weeks because they were on the COVID quarantine, right? So
that's right.
Maybe that's something to look at is when a team's coming back off COVID. Maybe that's something you should be looking to bet, right? Maybe trying to hit the other team.
Fuck, when Dallas come back off COVID start of the year, they were on fire. They won 4 games in a row, and like
I guess in because Colorado just came back against Vegas and they won. So it's just a horrible performance. So how do you do that? Like,
especially with those guys. I mean, like Jack Eichel is one hell of a player. He's one of the maybe top 10 skilled players in the league, maybe higher.
Yeah.
Like, he's a phenomenal guy. And Taylor Hall won the MVP award for the league 3 years ago.
Yeah, and they still got like Eric Stahl, Sam Reinhart. They got Cody Eakin. They got a really good. They got a decent team. I guess I should say.
I would say that they're and just to go on with that, they're probably one of the biggest disappointments for the NHL this year. I think because I had them at least fighting for a playoff spot. I don't know if they'd get in, but they're fucking last place in that division, aren't they? And it just looks terrible. And if they're not going to shot, I don't. I'm pretty sure they're last place, Fleming. So, I mean, what would you guys rather do? Would you rather not get a shot in the third period and just lose 3-1 when you're down 3-1, or would you rather lose to your arch rival 6-5 in overtime when you're up 5-1? I mean, to me, it's the no-brainer. It's a shot, just because even though it's one game, like the both of them are one game, right? But a lot of people might not even notice that you didn't get a shot.
Yeah.
Or I think a lot of people are going to notice when you lose 6-5 to your.
I think, but when you don't get a shot, maybe the outside world doesn't notice, but you didn't get a shot in the whole third period,
shit,
right? I mean, if you
coach knows.
Oh yeah, if you blow a lead, the Leafs still get a point. They can bounce back. Shit happens. The NHL is so unpredictable sometimes. I mean, they'll bounce back from that. I think not getting a shot when you're down 3-1, that's something that's going to linger in the back of your head for quite a while sometimes.
So here's another way to
win for a little bit.
So here's another way to look at it to me, and it's like, if you're a coach, do you go across the nice guy thing and just give them confidence and maybe do through it? I think I might do the nice guy thing more with Toronto. I don't know.
I would as well. Yeah.
If I'm Buffalo, I'm fucking bag skating those guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fuck, do you not get a shot in a period?
Yeah.
Like, there's no excuse. There's no this. There's no that. It's a shot.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not going to work in the game, obviously you didn't work hard enough. There's no fucking way in the NHL that you can work your ass off and get it and not get a shot. It just makes zero sense. So to me, like, that's bag skate. That's 100%. I mean, I don't
know what the practice schedule is, but yeah, they'd be bag skating for about 2 days straight for their next game. Like, I don't get it. No, if you can't get a shot in the whole third periods, you're not going to touch a puck in my practice until your next game. That's it.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable. So maybe we'll go. You want to touch in
Belleville
Senators for a minute here. So the Belleville Senators got off to a slow start this season, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Boo Club members. They played their first 3 games against Laval. The schedule is all kind of screwed up because they can't play any home games yet. But anyways, they lost their first 2 games at the Bell Center in Montreal, 5-1 a game. So it wasn't very good. Decord played the first game. Mandelo's played the second. I don't think the goalies played awful, but obviously they didn't stand on their head. They both allowed 5 goals. Last night was game 3 against Laval from the Bell Center in Montreal, and Bell will come back, and they were down 1-0 after the first, and they came back and won 4-1. It looks like they turned things around a little bit. Gustafson played net, so they've gone with 3 goalies in 3 games. Obviously, with Murray being hurt, the cord went up with Ottawa. I think I saw the first period, and we did a little bit of a show last night, so I missed the second and third, but I did see highlights and all that. I watched a lot of highlights, and Gustafson obviously played really, really well. I have high praise for him this year. He came back and played great the second half of last season. He also started in Sweden, I believe it was this year, and did really well. So I think he's a guy that could step up. Maybe it's not Decord. Maybe because Decord was good last year too, but maybe Decord stays in Belleville and Gustafson goes up and could end up being Murray's backup this year. I could see it. I definitely could, and maybe get some games. Forlington obviously looked good. He's got lots of speed. Abramoff with a nice goal. Abramoff to me, I see him as a potential to be a Gallagher from Montreal. I really do. Same sort of size. He's a lefty, not a righty, but just he has that grindiness. Where he gets in trouble, he gets injured every year, whether it's for a week or 2 at a time or a couple days. He has problems staying healthy, but he plays the same way. And even if you watch his goal last night, it's block shot, he gets the puck again, block shot, he gets the puck again. Then he just puts one off bar in. It's the second effort, it's the third effort. And if you watch Gallagher's nothing special, but he puts everything possible into it. I love that play.
He's a guy that kind of brings your team into the battle, right? I mean, it's kind
just
of
another Brady Tkachuk style kind of thing too, right?
Yeah. When things aren't going well, maybe Buffalo needs a guy like that kind of thing, right? When something's not going well, whatever it takes, it doesn't matter what it is, just get to the front of the net, get a greasy goal, a greasy shot of your Buffalo. But if Ottawa has a little Gallagher on their hands there, that's something.
I think he needs a chance in the NHL. The problem right now is they've got some guys on the cusp that they could probably put Forlington in, and they could put Abramoff in, and obviously Logan Brown. Logan Brown's hurt, so he didn't play last night. He did play the first 2 games. So actually last night they were missing Schlappick and Logan Brown, so that's 2 pieces of their first line. So good for them to win 4-1. But Ottawa could put some more guys in, but their plan is this, and they've said it, they don't want to have too many young guys. And even at the start of the year, they didn't even have enough young guys, but it's the young guys that are performing. So it's tough because they want the leadership off the ice as well. They want, and DJ Smith touched on this yesterday in one of his interviews, it's not about all on the ice. I want them to go out for dinner. I want them to talk to guys. I want them to, Coburn, Stanley Cup champion. I want them to tell stories about, when they went on their runs. It's not just about on the ice performance. So that's one thing as fans, we have to understand the whole growing of a team is not about everything on the ice. As frustrating as it can be to sometimes see these older guys that aren't performing as much. And I know I'm bad at that too, but it's more about the learning, especially if they've won a cup, right? Because they can tell you stories about, how we did it and everything along the line, or even deep playoff runs. So that's part of the thing too. Having said that, I've had enough of stepping already. If you watch that Matthews goal from the other night, Monday night, the 5-on-3, there's one I saw on Twitter, and maybe we can post it on our Facebook. When they play video games and your controller dies, and the guy's like standing, and he's like this, and he's just skating like this, like slow with like he's locked arms.
Yeah.
And he had that for like 5 seconds. So he was parallel with Matthews. He could have skated with him. He went like this, and Matthews goes to the net, and he just like broken controller. Fucking buddy passes him the puck, and it's a goal. And it's like, who the hell were you covering? You only have 3 of these out there. And then they're one of their top penalty killers. So maybe they're trying to keep him for more off-ice stuff. I think Steppen is in trouble right now. He just had a baby. So I feel bad for him. He can't even see them. I mean, honestly, we've got young kids, and it's hard to go a day without them. So I think they need to get him back to the States where at least he can see his kids. So hopefully they're trying for that. One other person I really wanted to touch on, because I really like his game, he's only played 3 games, is Ridley. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Ridley Gregg. So he went 28th overall this year. His birthday is August 18th or 8th. So if his birthday was, I think, 4 weeks later, he wouldn't even be drafted yet. He would get drafted this summer. So he's playing the AHL right now only because the W hasn't started. So usually he wouldn't be able to play, but he can because of that. He's doing really well. He had 2 apples last night. So he didn't have any points in the first 2 games, but he had 2 assists. And not only the assists, but I watched some of his play. Holy shit, he looks confident with the puck. Like he looks like a 23-year-old, that was drafted 4 years ago in the AHL right now. I'm actually really excited. I didn't know much about him. He was our 3rd first-round pick this year. So, you've already got Sanderson and Stutzel, so you're all talking about them. But this guy, he could get called up this year. It wouldn't surprise me if he plays a bit. I don't know. But I was honestly just confidence with the puck. Like there was a couple times last night where it's like it's on a string. And I'm going, holy shit. And he plays with a little bit of grindiness too, right? Like, so, yeah.
And speaking of for Ottawa to get more guys more young kids in the lineup, I think that might happen come the trade deadline, right? Because Ottawa does 100%. Have some expiring contracts. And actually, I'm just looking, Desingle's another guy that's coming up. And last time the Ottawa traded Desingle, they got a first and maybe even a second for him too. So maybe Desingle's a guy they're looking to flip because he is a UFA at the end of the year. So, I don't know where he fits into their rebuild plan kind of thing, but maybe you can get another pick for Desingle and really win that trade at that point. But yeah, Desingle, Steppen, a lot of guys can get shipped out of Ottawa to bring the young kids up to finish the year.
Well, I think you're 100% on that. And I think that was his plan from day one. Sign some of these guys and trade them, right? So like Paquette, Coburn, I mean, what he gave away for these guys, and now he's trading them and getting other guys in. I think he's doing okay. He has Dorian, I'm talking about, GM for Ottawa. He's had a little bit of bad luck. Murray's turned it around. But like you say, even if Desingle doesn't work out, maybe trade him at the deadline. Someone
you get a fourth for like obviously Galchenyuk and Paquette had no value at all, right? So even if you get whatever you get for Desingle, if you flip them, it's better than what you're going to get for the other 2 combined.
And Coburn could be another one. Maybe
Branson too. Branson might be a guy that teams might pay.
Branson.
A right-handed shot defenseman too. So a lot of guys a lot of teams looking for right-handed shot defensive specifically. So Branson's the guy that could be on the move.
Mike Riley's a left shot. I don't see him in the future with Ottawa. But if you watch him, this is really frustrating. You can watch one shift and go, holy shit, this guy's a hell of a player. You watch the next shift and go, holy shit, this guy sucks. Because he's a really good skater, really good with the puck. He makes a lot of minor mistakes that turn into big mistakes. Where like last game, he fired it off a shin pad. What are you doing? The guy's skating right in front of you, fires it, and then they go down and score. Like little things like that. But if you watch him with the puck, this guy can skate. So maybe he's somebody that another team is looking. They don't have enough young D to develop, and they pick him up. Yeah. So Mike Riley's one. Because Ottawa has all these lefties, like Sanderson, Shabbat, Brandstrom, Willan, and there's 4 right there. And then they still have Thompson and who's the other one? Bernard Docker.
Yeah.
So, and like those are the high end ones. They still have like Cleveland and other guys. So it'll be interesting to see. So Belleville Sens are 1 and 2. I think they're not going to be like Ottawa. And I said that. I kind of got nervous the first two games when they losing 5-1. But guys, I think I know Ottawa. I know it's Ottawa's team. It's Belleville. If you're from Belleville, the Bulls aren't here anymore. We're going to talk more about that in the future. But we want the Bulls back. That's how we feel. But we don't have the Bulls right now. We have the Sens. The Belleville Sens. Let's try and cheer them on. I know there is a lot of people in Belleville that got the AHL package to watch them. I know I did. I'm going to watch them when I can. So let's try and cheer them on. As long as they're here, they might only be here for a few more years. And then if they're gone, then we try to get an OHL team. So, but the Belleville Sens are here. Let's cheer them on.
And if we're, for sure. If we're not, and I'm not a Senators fan at all, but if we're not, if a team is in Belleville and we're not going to support them, we're not going to be able to get any teams in the future, right? Like if Ottawa does leave, like they said, maybe when Ottawa builds that rink downtown, they're going to move, the B Sens into the current arena where they play, right? So, Ottawa might not, or we might not have a team here in Belleville forever. So get out and support them all you can. And that's only going to help bring a team back in the future. Maybe even the Bulls, right?
Exactly. You never know. So I think that leaves us to our next guest, our first guest. Is that where we're at now, buddy?
We're there, yeah.
Okay, so I can announce it. So we have a pre-taped from the other day, our first ever guest on the Battle of Ontario Hockey Podcast, the Boo Club. He is now officially a Boo Club member. Are you a Boo Club member? Make sure you subscribe to us and like us on Facebook and Instagram. Anyways, he's from Belleville, Ontario. He currently resides in Kansas City, where he played close to 6.5 years of pro hockey. We had a great chat with him. He's like I say, you guys will watch it. You can enjoy it. And we have tons more to come. Our plan is to do guests every Wednesday. So on Wednesdays, we'll have guests. On Saturdays, we're going to get more into the NHL and stuff around it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so everyone's brought to you by the Battle of Ontario podcast and Pay It Forward Sports. Here we go. We're going to get into our interview with local legend Andrew Courtney.
Enjoy, guys. Enjoy.
From Belleville, Ontario, he grew up playing for the Belleville Bobcats, the Quinte Red Devils, including being the Quinte Red Devils major midget captain. Later I was, and later his brother Amo, who's one of my best friends, was the captain as well for that team. He was drafted to the Belleville Bulls. He ended up playing 2 years for the Trenton Sting. And then he switched leagues to play in the Junior B League, the Horseshoe League, to play with his cousin and to be close to family. He played for the Niagara Falls Canucks, and he lit it up there. I think he had about 50 snipes in that league, and I think they were pretty close to winning a championship as well. He then got a partial scholarship to the University of Lethbridge. He played from Lethbridge, had a great career there, got some schooling in, and then when he was done going to school in Lethbridge, he ended up finishing that hockey season in a pro league, the Central Hockey League, playing for the Missouri Mavericks. He then went on and played 6 more years in the Central League and later the East Coast League when they amalgamated. For the Missouri Mavericks, he lit it up there. He had some big goal-scoring years. I think at one point he might still be the goal-scoring leader there for a season and all time. We went and visited, me and Eamon, his brother, and one time he, if he scored, you'd be able to go to A&W the next day and buy a root beer float for 27 cents, and he scored that night. So we got to go get a root beer float the next day for 27 cents, which was kind of funny. This guy is a multi-sport athlete. He was a mixed doubles tennis champion in high school, won many soccer awards, 3-time world ball hockey champion. When it came to sports, this guy's concentration focus was next to no one. He played to win, but he played with the utmost class. Ladies and gentlemen, hailing 6'4", in great shape, Belleville's own Andrew Courtney.
Hey, what buddy. An intro, man. What an intro.
Wow. That was our first one, so I had to go a little hardcore with it, eh?
Hey, Andrew, how's it going, bud?
It's going great, guys. Thanks for having me today.
No problem. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, buddy. It's going to be some fun here. So,
hey, bro. Speaking of Andrew playing other sports, I don't know if you ever remember this, Andrew, but I played baseball with Amo and Andrew's brother. And at one point, I was starting to play first base, and I was a lefty, so I didn't have a first baseman mitt for lefty. So Amo brings me this mitt one time, and it's got to be like 8 feet long. So here, this is my brother's. Use this, and I used that for the year. The fucking thing is huge. The hands on this guy must be just massive. But
well, yeah, yours and your brother's hands are about twice as high. They're about like that.
I think we won that at a basketball tournament at Nicholson one year, and yeah, sure enough, it came in handy throughout the years.
For sure, yeah.
That's pretty good. So maybe you can just tell us a little bit about kind of where you started in sports and started in hockey and how you got to be and have the success maybe you did. You did.
Yeah, growing up in Canada, everyone, you grew up trying to be Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux, and hockey was always there, but my dad being from Ireland and having the soccer background, I always thought, soccer was going to be my go-to sport. It was one of my go-to sports in the summer, but hockey had more opportunity at the time, and all my buddies were playing it. So it just we just gravitated together and just stuck to it. You have many options in Canada. And now I'm in Kansas City, and there's not too many options for ice rinks. But the ponds in Canada freeze. Here they freeze probably for a couple days, and then they're not good anymore. But yeah, so you're able to practice anywhere you wanted, on the streets, the ponds, the rinks, your driveway. So it all started from there.
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely a difference where you're from too, right? Like over in Europe and Ireland, like where your dad's from, there's not hockey over there either, right? It's all soccer and football, like they call it, right? Like I guess there is hockey, but not like Canada. So no,
but Belfast has a team in the English league, but other than that, that's about it for Ireland.
Yeah. So maybe you could just tell us about growing up in Belleville, and like maybe some of the people that help you along the way. You played for the Bobcats, right, when you were younger, and then later on the Red Devils, and obviously then junior and whatnot after that. So
there's a core group of guys that I grew up with, and we some of us lived pretty close, and we were able to stick together throughout the years and play on the same team. Brad Richardson, Mark Runyons, Brandon Dafoe, Chris Rajat, Matt Richardson. We were all close buddies, and we loved the game. We loved hanging out with each other, and we were able to put some good teams together. I don't know if we won any championships, but I know we won a few tournaments. But the big OMHAs, we never got there. But no, it was fun. It was growing up with those guys, and some of the skills and caliber that you got to play with and against. Playing against Corey Perry every year. That wasn't fun. That the Peterborough team was they're stacked, but it was always good to have good competition. And from there, we just you wanted to continue playing as long as you can. Some of us got drafted the OHL, others went the college route and then started their careers from there. But we wanted to prolong our career and our love for the sport. And for some of us, it's still going, and others, we're playing men's league now.
Yeah, that's awesome. One thing I do want to say, and I don't know if you know this, Andrew, but Dafoe just had his first baby girl, I believe, this morning.
Really?
So shout out to Brandon Dafoe.
Yes.
He's now in the kids world. I mean, all of us have kids now. So Dafoe, we're gonna make sure you're listening to this. But welcome to parenthood. It's different than when you don't have kids, right? Right, Andrew?
Oh yeah, sleepless nights. Here we go.
Oh, sleepless nights, and just when you think you've got some time to yourself, all of a sudden one's jumping on you probably, and
yeah.
But it's one of those things, like you say, like you wouldn't change it for the world, right? Like it's a life-changing thing.
But absolutely not. No, it's amazing what how everything I don't know, it doesn't plan out, but it all works out in the end.
Yeah.
Hey Andrew, before we transition onto your pro career in university, is there one memory you have about playing sports locally that comes to mind?
No, honestly, no, not really. Just Belleville is a sports city, and the way they support the Bulls back in the day, and now I've never been to a Belleville Sens game, so I don't know how the the attendance and the popularity is there, but it's just Belleville needs an OHL team or a semi-pro team just to keep the hockey vibe going, and to have those young kids growing up in Belleville now being able to see those guys play, gives them a lot of dreams and good future, bright futures. That's it's a lot of good players come through there now with the connection and the closeness with Canada and Belleville. So it's good to see.
Agreed. I think that's such a big point to touch on too, is just how important a team is to a community, right? Like I remember when the Bulls were in town, we looked forward so much to going to the Bulls games, or even when they'd come to your practices, you just look up and say, oh my God, these guys are huge. You think they're stars and celebrities, but Yeah, we definitely need to ensure we keep the Sens or some sort of hockey in Belleville for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, you grow up, you know, every time you go to the Belleville Bulls game and they come out and here's, you know, here's Corey Perry in your Belleville Bull, not Corey Perry, Corey Cooper in your Belleville Bulls.
Yeah.
You know, every Belleville kid, you know, that ends up playing for Belleville. They, you know, maybe you want to hear your name, you know, your name be there, and here come your Belleville Bulls. So it's kind of, yeah. It's,
Even if you're like 15 and win the 50-50 too, eh? Isn't that like an unreal thing? Isn't there a story like that? I just thought of that off the top of my head too.
No,
Isn't there something like that? Didn't you win the 50-50? I don't know.
Honestly, I think it was Brad's first game in Belleville when he played for Owen Sound.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And yeah, and I think my parents bought the 50-50 and they left early because I was gonna wait for Brad after the game, and they gave me the ticket. And yeah, sure enough, our numbers get called, and yeah,
what do you do?
Yeah, you keep and they give you the cash right there, and you're walking around with the cash in your front pockets, holding on to it for dear life. So, but it was yeah.
So who did you get to get? Like, did they give you the money? Were you of age? Or
I don't know. I was I was. I think it was like because we were 18 at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't 15, but yeah, it was it was of age. So it was.
Did your parents ever get that money back?
Oh,
yeah, that's the one thing. Eh? You didn't tell them till later on it's spent.
No, hey, that's how you keep. Hey, that's how you pay. That's how you play. Be able to play for play hockey. Is, without, you know.
Definitely the amount of money that parents and like yours, right, with you and your brother both playing AAA and all
AAA.
that isn't cheap, and skates and hockey sticks.
Absolutely, man.
And you name it. But by the sounds of like Brendan's question, it's not one memory you have growing up. It's like all the memories, right? Like you say, you grew up with
absolutely.
Razzie, Richie, and I remember even playing road hockey with you, Richie, Amo, and I can't remember who else was there a few times in your driveway and whatnot. And those are some of the memories too, right? And then you go and play hockey with them on the ice and everything. So
yeah, but like even before Brad and I knew each other, we were playing soccer against each other growing up.
Okay.
Yeah, we were playing soccer against each other. He'd be going down the field one way with the ball, I'd be going down the other field, and our parents were like, okay, who's that? And sure enough, you know, we didn't know at the time that, you know, we crossed paths again, but yeah, it's crazy how the world works that way.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because Brad played up a year too, right? So you guys probably wouldn't have.
Well, no, I played up. Me and him, I played up. Yeah, until he went up in AAA, and then that's when I went back down. I think not either Adam or Novice, he played up, and then I went back down to the regular age group.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's funny how things work like that. So
yeah,
and then obviously getting through minor hockey, and then playing a couple years for the Trenton Sting, and Lou Crawford was one of your coaches at the time. And I know you were close to the Crawfords too, and we used to work out with Todd, and I think Mark came on once, but Joe Dorn was there, and so I think they were big, you know, helpers at the time too, right? So maybe you could tell us a story or something about Lou coaching for you, because I know I've heard some funny ones over the years.
Oh, it just wasn't Lou, it was Floyd too. You know,
Floyd too. Yeah, late Floyd Crawford for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't be where I was in hockey without with Floyd in the Crawfords at the time. You know, Floyd always believed in me. I think that's the reason why I was drafted by the Bulls. They always said that the 14th round pick was his pick, and you know, he took a chance and drafted me. You know, it would have been nice to play a game, which I had the opportunity to, but I decided to go a different path, and you know, everything worked out. But yeah, without Floyd, I wouldn't be the hockey player that I was, and I owe a lot to that. And yeah, no, Lou was, you know, he was an intense coach, and he was a pro coach, and to have him at a young age where I could learn some tricks and grow as a player was huge. And he kept everyone accountable. And if you weren't playing up to your standard, you know, he'd let you know, and he'd make sure that you got to your standard, because, you know, we weren't going to lose games. And we had a great team when he was there. And I think that's when we had Jake Gilmore at the time, and who else? A couple other guys, and we had a really great team. It just didn't pan out. And but from his coaching, it gave me a chance to grow and see what it's like to play under a pro coach.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, Lou Crawford, he coached Andrew one year in Trenton. It would have been 04-05. And he was also the Belleville Bulls coach when they won the championship. This was actually on TV, Cogeco on my TV last night, 1999. So the only Belleville championship since the McFarlands and all that. And then Floyd is his dad, who coached the Bobcats. He coached my dad a little bit way back in the day. And I remember when Floyd passed away, I was actually in the Philippines, and Sammy Hall, you know Sammy Hall, he called me, and he went to the funeral and whatnot. My wife, not knowing, I don't even think she had been to Canada yet, like, who's that? And I had to explain, like, who died. And I kind of told her, I'm like, Floyd Crawford is like the godfather of hockey in Belleville, if you think of it that way, right? Like, he's probably the biggest name, you know, maybe not like a Bobby Hull, but as far as Belleville and the community and coaching junior teams and, you know, all the kids and having them go through it. And obviously, even like you, there's probably more guys like you where he was a great leader for them, right? So
yeah, absolutely. If you wanted to find him, he was at the rink. He
exactly.
was at the rink.
Sure,
you know, he was always there. And I remember him being at mostly, you know, all my games, which I'm fortunate for that.
Yeah. So maybe just moving forward, maybe we'll move into the maybe we'll talk about the college stuff. So just a couple questions before we get maybe to the Missouri part. But how was going to college out west, or university, I guess, out west, and what was that like? Because that's probably you probably play less games, didn't you? And then obviously with your schooling, it's probably a lot going on at once.
Yeah. Yes. Well, first it was life changing because I played for Trenton, and then I played in Niagara Falls, which family right there in both places. And then now I'm going to the other side of the country, you know, for the first time. So a lot of life decisions and growing up to do fast. And it was great. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I went out there. Western Canada is beautiful. And, you know, our school was one of the, you know, not low income, but didn't have as much money as the University of Alberta, the University of Saskatchewan, where they brought in, you know, the big players. But, you know, I always wanted to go to a team or a school that I knew I was going to play. I don't know if you guys know this, but I did not play for the Wellington Dukes. I was supposed to play for the Wellington Dukes, but I asked for a trade. I didn't question my skill or my ability as a hockey player, but you know, I wanted to play, and I didn't know if that was going to happen. And you know, finally I got my wish, and I went to Trenton, and you know, I played every game, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want to sit in the stands. I didn't want to, you know, I wanted to learn on the ice, not by watching. And Lethbridge gave me an opportunity, and you know, it was the right decision to make. And you know, after 5 years of hockey there, I was able to get a scholarship or a degree, and you know, been able to pursue the next career from there.
Yeah, and good point on that. Like, I think a lot of people are kids, and everybody gets, well, I want to be on the best team. But the thing is, if you're not going to play and you're not going to develop, you're not going to get to that next step after that, right? And I know I did know all about your situation because I had a similar one. The rules have changed now, but back in the day, if you lived in Belleville, the Wellington Dukes owned your rights. And I ended up having to do the same thing, kind of screw around with Wellington and get my right spot and to play for Trenton as well. So I know what it can be. Sometimes it's not fun, and I understand that because I think that's why they changed those rules, right? So definitely you want to go, and for any athletes out there, any sport, go somewhere where you feel you're going to be comfortable and have the best chance to succeed and to play, right? And that's I think what you're getting at. So absolutely, you want to grow, and the only chance you're going to grow is if you get the opportunity. Yeah, no, for sure. And then, of course, so we'll get to the next point. So, so what happened was, I think it was 2000. When did you first go there? 2012? Missouri.
11, 12. 11, 12.
It says 10, 11 here.
10, okay, 10, 11. Yeah,
So
that was my, yeah.
So you transitioned right out of university into the.
Well, yeah, I finished school down there.
Yeah.
I finished school down there, and I played 7 games because I separated my shoulder. But yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, I was supposed to. Yeah, right before the playoffs.
Oh,
so it was kind of, it was devastating, but it was all good. It all worked.
It worked out in the long run.
It did.
But where I'm going with that is it's kind of funny. So I finished junior. I took a year off, and I said I want to play hockey still. I want to give it a shot. So I ended up going to Missouri's rookie camp, and then made it to the main camp, and later got cut. And there's a lot of pro teams in the States. There was Essential, the Coast. Now they're both together. The SP, there's a bunch of them, right? And so anyways, I go back and ended up coaching with Patty Shear that year. And there's a few guys that ended up playing the OHL. But the funny part is Andrew, being one of my best friend's brother, gets called up to that exact same team, the Missouri Mavericks, the same season. So I was there for camp. He's there at the end of the year. And so we thought that was pretty funny. And like, it's just a coincidence. And then goes on to play 6 more years after that year, right?
Yes.
So maybe tell us about that. And tell us about the difference from playing our university hockey to pro. Because I mean, there's got to be a lot more different pace, different, toughness, schedule. Tell us about that.
Yeah. No, it's a lot different. With school, you had to manage hockey and school. So the time management was very, very huge. And then you go to pro and you practice in the morning at 10 o'clock. And then you're off the ice or out of the rink by noon. And then you could have nothing the rest of the day, or you could have a community event or a team event. Or you have a morning skate and then a game that night. So you had to be able to maximize your time and make sure you're doing what you have to do to be ready the whole year. And you play more games for pro, and a lot of older guys. You got the man strength when you first get to the pro level, and it was a eye opener for sure. You play 23 games, I think, in college, and you feel like that's a long season, and then you get to pro and you're playing 70 games. It takes a toll, but you figure out what you need to do and what you have to do to be able to get through the year. And you just don't, you got a lot of, what should I say, like, you got a lot of different personalities and different skill levels when you get to pro. And it's a grind, because every practice is a tryout to keep your spot in the lineup. And if you don't have a good practice or a good week, you're not going to be playing that weekend. And you got to make sure that you come to practice every day, thinking it's a game or a tryout, because you want to stay in the lineup and you want to prove your worth. And for me, I went to a team that took a chance on me, and it panned out, because after college it was either between Missouri or Colorado, and Colorado was the coach of Colorado was good friends with my university coach, and he couldn't guarantee me playing every game when I first that first year. And Missouri said no, he's going straight in the lineup. So sure enough, I picked Missouri, not knowing where it was or what I was getting myself into. And I went down there, and the first game I played was in Laredo, Texas. So we took a 24 hour bus ride to Laredo, and I'm like, oh man, what am I getting myself into?
Welcome to the pros, bud.
Welcome.
This is not the NHL. We don't fly.
Welcome to the Central League.
So what are those bus trips like anyways? Like, do you sleep most of it? Or are you playing cards?
There's bunks on it, and the booster club for Missouri would put like a couple bins of snacks on there. So you had that. But yeah, it was mostly card games, movies, sleep. If you had a PlayStation hand held thing, you'd be playing that. Okay. So yeah, it's you do whatever. I don't think the iPads were quite big when I first started, but eventually, you got your iPad with games or movies, and yeah, that's what you did. There, some were long, some were short, but those are the best times, because a lot, either have a good road trip or a bad road trip, but we're always together on the bus or doing crazy things.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Andrew, it doesn't look like it took much time for you to transition from the University of Lethbridge to the Mavericks. It says here your first year in the CHL, you got 59 points in 63 games. So did you get thrown right into like top 6 minutes there, or how did that start out for you?
Yeah, lucky enough. I was put up in the top 6, but it was my opportunity to lose. And through the summers, I worked out with with Todd Crawford and then Jason Saprika, and both those guys really got us ready for the hockey season. And from those workouts and those summers, I knew I needed to put myself through that to make sure I stayed in the top six, because some of the players that I played with, Sebastian Tunnell, Ed McGrain, Eric Castonguay, and Ryan Jardine, those guys were elite players and in the Central League. And, I wanted to play with them. I wanted an opportunity to show my ability and show that I can be one of those elite players. And, I had the opportunity to play with Sebastian Tunnell right away, and we found chemistry right away. And, I put up some pretty good numbers in those years. And, it was fun to go to the rink and fun to be there. And with playing in Missouri, they're fanatics. They're diehard. The atmosphere there is out of this world. And to play in front of a sold out barn every night and winning games, it was a fun career.
Yeah. And one thing, I don't know if Fleming, you might not know this. Honestly, I didn't even know this when I went there. You guys only take 3 lines, right?
Yeah, 3 lines and 1 extra.
3 lines, so 10 forwards, not like the 4 lines here. So,
Okay.
You really have a good chance of missing a game. And
Yes.
I think that's all cost effective, isn't it? So they got to pay kind of 2-3 less guys. So
nowadays, injury wise with the heads and all that, back then, if you think you have a concussion or don't have a concussion, you're playing. Because if you get hurt, you don't want to miss a game, because you could be missing, you could lose your spot in the lineup. Yeah. And it's hard to say. I probably should have sat out more games than I did, but I didn't want to lose a spot in the lineup. And it didn't hurt me too bad, but it's just nowadays you gotta be careful because hockey's it's a contact sport. Stuff's gonna happen, but you gotta figure out what's best and go from there. But yeah, I know it's a struggle. It's like I said, it's a tryout every practice, because they're always looking for the best combination or the guys going. Even morning skates, they wanted to see who's going and who's ready to play that night.
Yeah, so it sounds like from what you're saying and talking about working out with Todd Crawford and Jason Saprika, and a lot of maybe kids need to realize this, that it's not about just working hard during the games, but it's working hard before the games, morning skate, maybe, obviously through the summers and all that, the preparation. And like you say, every day is a tryout. So you got to keep getting better and better.
Absolutely. Here's another story. In the summer, when Floyd, was making sure that I was doing the right things to get to the next level, he would call me every day in the summer, and first thing he would say, "Did you work out?" "Yeah, I worked out." "Okay, did you shoot pucks?" "Not yet." "Well, go do that." He wanted me shooting 50 to 100 pucks a day. And that's what you have to do. Now they have the stick handling tools out there. They have there's a lot of tools out there for young kids to use to practice, to make sure they're toning their skills, because you see some of these up and comer NHLers now, like the hands on them and the shot and the shots. Yeah, it's some of it's the equipment, but some of it's putting in the work and making sure that you're doing whatever you can to get to that next level and be that next Sidney Crosby or Ovechkin or so.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things where the NHL and pro has transitioned, where they still have tough guys in the lineup, but you can't just be a tough guy. You can't just be a fighter. You're not going to fit in. You got to have some sort of skill. You got to be able to move the puck, right? You don't have to be a goal scorer, but so maybe just touch on that as some of the tougher guys maybe you played with or even played against, and how hard it can be to play at that pro level.
Well, I just one guy I played with, Colt King, probably the toughest guy in semi-pro hockey, but he could also play, and that's what you have to do now. You got to be able to to play and show your toughness, because it's not all about being this big guy out here anymore. It's if you're gonna play hockey, you got to have all the tools. And watching him put up 20 goals a game or 20 goals a season, and fighting maybe once every other game or whenever he had to. That shows that you have to be an all-around player to be able to get in the lineups. And you might be a top 6 forward coming out of college or junior, and then you get to pro and you're bottom 6, but you still have to fill a role. Every team needs all their roles filled to be a complete team. And you're never out of the weeds. You always got a dream that that it's possible, and believe in yourself that you can get there. And if you put on the hard work and all that, then you're going to get there and everything's going to work out. So it doesn't matter if you sit out one game here, one game there. It should drive you to make sure that that doesn't happen, and make sure that you're in the lineup every night.
Hey, Andrew, one story I want to touch on, and Brooks mentioned this, is that when you're at a ball hockey tournament in Ottawa, Chris Stewart jumps into your guys' bench going after your brother.
That was in Toronto, but yeah.
Toronto,
You remember that playing against Stewart and Simmons, and Stewart jumped on the bench. We were shitless.
Oh,
we won that game 1-0 too.
Are you sitting there thinking you're not going after my brother? Like, were you thinking of going after Chris Stewart?
Yeah, there's a lot of things going through my head.
I think we were all scared shitless. That's what I think. They were big.
Yeah, it was intense, man. It was intense. The emotions were running. Was that the provincials, right?
That was the provincials, the semifinal. We won 1-0.
Yeah, they had a pretty stacked team, I think. Yeah, no, it was. We probably ran our mouth a little too much, but no, it was. At one point I was like, okay, I might have to jump on the floor here and just get in between, But yeah, it's.
They ended up throwing out Stewart, which was good, and then Simmons later on. But we beat them 1-0. But then it was remember the finals? You scored that beautiful goal. I think we were the tied or down one, and it was shorthanded. I think I was even in the box. And then I think that was to go up, and then Dafo kind of blew it at the end and in overtime. I remember it was me, you, Amo, and Dafo drove home from Mississauga, and I sat beside Dafo the whole way home, and not one word was spoken. It was so awkward. It was like I was fucking pissed we lost. I was so mad, and Dafo was just like he wanted. And you know what? He was one of our best players too. It's just. Sometimes in the game things happen, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You laugh about it later, but
at the time it's like, oh geez, what
you're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, but no, it's man. Belleville had some pretty good ball hockey teams.
Oh yeah, well you played on a lot of them, and I was right on that. 3 world championships.
Just two.
Okay,
so I played in three, but
you played in 3.
No, sorry. So if you count the world juniors and then 3 men's. So 4. But I've only won 2.
So you won 1 men's and 1 junior, is that right? Or?
No, run bronze and juniors, and 2 in men's.
Okay, so I knew it was 2 in men's. So anyways.
Yeah.
And a lot of you played in provincial, a lot of provincial championships, and obviously and nationals as well. So probably the biggest name ball hockey player out of Belleville. I wouldn't doubt it on that. And I do have a funny story to go with this. I don't know if you remember this, but I'll tell you, I sure remember. So Andrew and my dad were coaching us in ball hockey. It was junior provincial. So we were like 16, 17. We had a hell of a team. We had Tyler Mallinson, Corbin Crawford, Amo, his brother with a big boomer, Jared Tanner and net. Like we had an awesome team. Tyler Soul, Kyle Hawkinschultz. Anyways, you were helping out. So my dad was a coach. You were helping out. And then you also helped out. I don't know if it was Barry Greer's team, but somebody else 2 years younger, I think. Do you remember
I was with Barry. Yeah, I was with Barry. I helped Barry too.
So the finals were after each other. And I think it doesn't matter where it was. Might have been Chatham or something. You guys lost, I think, by a goal or something. The other team, Barry's team. And we were all ready to go out. And you come in with the silver medal. And you looked around the room. And like, you can be an intense guy and you're a big guy. And I remember you showed the medal and it was like, I don't want to see another one of these fucking medals or something like that, and threw in the garbage. And we're like, holy shit. Like, and that's all that needed to be said. It might not even be those exact words, but it was just like, and it wasn't a disgrace or anything to the other team, but it was like, hey boys, we're here to win. We're going to do everything we can to get that goal. And we went out and we won the provincials that year. So, I mean, it was something I always remember because it was just so intense. And it was like, okay, we're ready to go. and we won. And then, so it was just, I don't know. I always remember that. Like,
Yeah, I vaguely remember that, but but no, sometimes it's a little motivation that gets everyone going. But I think that year both Well, I think every team that I helped coach ball hockey had an opportunity to win provincials
Yeah.
or nationals. And, that's always fun to be a part of. But yeah, no, like, and, I'm glad I played ball hockey because I wasn't a guy that, wanted to play hockey all year round. In the summers, it was, when I was younger, it was soccer, baseball, sometimes basketball. And then when I got older and, started playing ball hockey, then, I started doing that. And also it's another way to work on your skills for hockey because it transitions really well. I'd have my mom in the driveway drop me hockey or ball hockey balls, pretending that I was taking a face off. And sometimes because when I got to the men's ball hockey, they wanted me to play center, and I wanted to make sure that I was on the floor there for the final face-offs. And sure enough, I had the opportunity too, but that's because of the work I put in at home. But yeah, no, it's it's to be a good athlete, you got to be able to play, not every sport, but a lot of sports. Yeah, because each sport has their own skills, and if you can bring all those skills together, it makes it fun.
And just to touch on that, and I know when I coach, we had the same thing where kids it's hard because you want to go farther in hockey, right? And then you hear about these tournaments and everything else. And as we got older, it's gotten even way worse than when we played, right? When we were growing up. Oh, this tournament's going on, this tournament's going on, this tournament's going on. And the parents think, hey, we got to get them in every tournament because Jimmy's in that tournament. Johnny's in that tournament. We want to be as good as them, right? Where I know when I coached, I told them, I said, play in 3 tournaments maximum. Your body needs a break, but more importantly, your mind needs a break. Because we know how the ups and downs of hockey. Go play a different sport. Ball hockey is a totally different sport. It is. I know guys think it's hockey. It's still totally different. Yeah, there's a lot of skills, but just the mindset, the setting up, the floating blue line, you got to run. There's a lot of different things. So I think I see that as a different sport. And I tell my kids, even a guy like Nathan Dunkley, who played for the London Knights the last few years in the Kingston Frontenacs, he just loved playing hockey. He wouldn't get enough. He said, Nate, you need a break. In the summer, go do something else. Go fishing, whatever. Do whatever. You can only play 3 tournaments, right? And like going forward, I think if my son gets into hockey, and maybe yours as well, wouldn't you tell him, hey, you need a break, you need to play soccer and all that, right?
Yeah, you don't want to burn out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if kids these days are burning out, but you don't want to burn out. You want to, take your mind off it. If it was a good or bad year, you still want to take your mind off it. But yeah, no, it's, my kids, they're, my son will be 4 this year and my daughter will be 2. They're going to have every opportunity to play whatever sport they want. And, and if they don't want to play hockey, it's not going to hurt my feelings. Yeah. I want them to do what they want to do. It's, their life, and I'm going to support them, whatever they choose to do. Golf, hopefully they pick golf. That's the biggest thing. That means I can go. That means I can be on the course more than I am right now. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's about, giving them the opportunity to let them grow and let them figure out what they want to do. And if it's not sports and it's something else, then, still going to support them.
Yeah. And just to touch on that, I know I explained to you before we had the call there about what we're doing. We have a new business called Pay It Forward Sports. And what we're going to do is be running a lot of events and tournaments coming up, obviously depending on COVID. But our goal is, this is a business, but we want to put part of the funds that we make towards kids, because we were lucky, just like you said about your kids being able to play sports, right? And how important that is to learn the leadership skills, everything you've learned, and to have success. You were able to go to university too, right? And you look at the amount of people you've met along the way, and sports Absolutely. Led to you playing in Kansas City, which led to you meeting your wife, now living there with 2 kids, right? So it's crazy how far things like that can take you. So that's where we want to be able to give kids the opportunity. So yeah, maybe just touch on the importance of maybe giving everybody that opportunity, if you could.
Yeah, no, hockey's not a cheap sport. It's very expensive, and some kids can't get out there. But if you guys can, be able to raise some money to help some kids out. You might create the next Sidney Crosby. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. And that's your goal. I don't know if it's your goal or not, but that's the opportunity that you're giving kids, whatever sport it is. I don't think, does it have to be hockey? Can it be?
No,
It can
any sport.
That's in it. Yeah. And that's perfect. And that's good to see, because there's a lot of great athletes that came out of Belleville, and we need to continue that, and show the country what Belleville's all about, because you can see Andrew Shaw, Brad Richardson, Nick Cousins, and then Andrew Raycroft before that. Belleville's a pretty cool place for athletes to create some memories.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's what our kind of goal is. But no, we really appreciate you coming on today, Bud. Fleming, you got anything you wanted to add? Or
I was just gonna say, I think part of our mission too is making sure adults can continue to play too. That's why we're running tournaments and stuff. Are you still active in sports today, even with kids?
Honestly, man, I haven't put my skates on since my last game, which was
wow.
very, very sad. But no, I honestly, it's with having two young kids and being a UPS driver, my time is limited, and I haven't really got into anything besides trying to hit the golf course at least 10 times a summer, which is hard to get to, but maybe eventually I'll get out there. But right now I just happy being a dad and watching the kids grow, and making sure that I'm providing everything that I can for them.
Oh, that's perfect. Yep. Yeah. So no, unless Fleming has something to add, do you have fun?
No, I'm good.
Just really appreciate you coming on today. You're our first guest, and this is going to be launched on Wednesday. So yeah, thanks a lot. And once again, everybody, it's Andrew Courtney, Belleville native, like you say, world championships. This guy had a lot of success in life because he played sports. You don't have to make the NHL either to have success in sports either, guys. There's a lot of lessons you're going to learn along the way, and you might even just play pro one day and meet your wife and stay there and have a family. But no, we really appreciate your time today, buddy. Can't wait to see you whenever you're home next. I know Corona's tough, but I'll have to talk to Emil, and we'll have to go out for a couple of brewskis.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me. Best of luck with this new endeavor, and hopefully this is the start of good things to come. And thanks again. It's great seeing you guys, and yeah, hopefully I can get back home here soon. But we'll see.
Okay, perfect. Well, we really appreciate it, Andrew. Thanks for coming on, bud.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Welcome back, guys. We hope you enjoyed our first ever guest on the Battle of Ontario Hockey Podcast. We want to thank Andrew Courtney for his time. He is a busy guy. He's got he's a delivery for FedEx, I believe it is.
UPS, I think.
Or sorry, UPS. Sorry,
yeah.
In Kansas City, and you guys know what that's like right now, because everybody's at home, or most people are at home. The packages have doubled. So I know he explained to us that he's really busy. He also has two young kids. So it was great. It was a lot of fun. I'm best friends with his brother. So we have a lot of stories, and I'm sure we could even hear more in the future. Having said that, guys, like we said before, Wednesdays is going to be our guest day. We're going to have guests. We have another awesome one coming next Wednesday in 7 days, guys. You are absolutely going to love it, especially the Belleville Bulls fans. This guy played for the Belleville Bulls for 4 years. We're gonna keep the surprise until Saturday. We'll announce who it is on Saturday's show. Another show we have is this Saturday. Look for it. We're gonna have Champ or Chump. We're gonna talk Leafs or Sens. We're gonna talk around the league. There's a ton of games on Saturdays. It's gonna be a ton of fun. We're also want to tell you about, hopefully by Saturday, we may have our first tournament released for Pay It Forward Sports, which is our partner company. So if you don't know about Pay It Forward Sports, we are a company that right now we're going to be running events and tournaments, and part of the proceeds that we get are going to go towards getting kids in sports, whether it's paying for the registration fees and or equipment. So maybe Fleming can touch more on that.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, we were very happy to announce that last week. And like folks said, we're going to be running tournaments, events, anything we can to get adults and kids back into sports. And our main mission of this is we want to get kids from our local organizations back into local sports. So if there are any kids out there that need help with registration fees, equipment, travel costs, anything like that, we're here to help. We want to help as many people as we can. We believe that the more kids that get into sports, the better our local organizations are going to be, the better our local players are going to be, and in turn, the more promising future all the kids in Belleville will have. So we're very forward to getting into that. We're definitely picking up steam. And another thing I want to touch on too, Brooks, is for all the Boot Club members, we have some bonus content coming out tonight. We have the Leafs versus the Senators playing tonight, and I think Brooks and I are going to jump back on after the game and do a little post-game recap. Hopefully we have a big Leafs win. If not, we're probably going to hear it from Jimmy Stu over here. So everyone, tune back in tonight. We'll probably jump on right around 9:30 tonight, Brokey.
Yeah, 9:30, quarter to 10, whenever the game, as soon as the game's over, guys, we'll jump on it, and we'll hear Sens victory, so that'll be awesome for all the Sens Nation out there. It'll be a sensational night tonight, guys.
So if anyone has any questions there or any comments they want us to talk about tonight in the podcast, send us a message on our socials. Hit us up on Facebook or shoot us an email, and maybe we'll get some guest content in there tonight too.
Yeah, and remember, check us out. Check out our partner company, Pay It Forward Sports. PayItForwardSports.ca is the website. Pay It Forward Sports on Facebook. Check those guys out. Make sure you're liking us on Facebook. Support us. If you own a small business, we're going to be looking to partner with small businesses. And we look at it as I'm just going to touch on this quickly. We look at it as a partnership, not a sponsorship. You're not just giving us money. I own a couple other small businesses, and I know how hard it can be sometimes when all these companies, give us some money here, sponsor this, sponsor that. We want you to sponsor us, but we're going to do everything we can to get you more clients and more money going your way as well. So we look at it as a partnership, not a sponsorship. So yeah, just want to touch on that quickly. And yeah, we got a big game tonight. I'm fired up for it. It's Sens Nation, baby. It's going to be a great show. 9:30, 9:45, live on Facebook and YouTube.
All right, everyone, tune back in tonight for some bonus content. And let's pray to all things that are good, that the Leafs come out on top tonight. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tonight, and we'll be back in on Saturday for the next episode of the Battle of Ontario podcast, brought to you by Pay It Forward Sports. Anyway,
Are you in?